ඔබත් SLT පාරිභෝගිකයෙකු නම් ඔබේ හිතවතෙකුට SLT නව සබඳතාවයක් 50%ක වටනමක් සහිතව ලබා දී ඔබේ බිල්පතට රුපියල් 6000ක් දක්වා වටනමක් හිමි කරගන්න.
Tonight, wolves in sheep's clothing. Prelate warns President beware of international forces disguised as friendly neighbours. Bond scam fatigue. Former Central Bank Governor Ajit Niwad Cabral says that 5 years was a great victory for the scammers, but for the people to be finally victorious, government should employ top-class investigators.
What is the sentiment of the present regime?
I think we need to immediately take action, but they need to have guidance too in the very. The best thing that the government can do is to have a top-class investigator.
In with the new. MP GAMMANPILA says that the country's need of the hour is a revamped constitution that fulfills the aspirations of the people. Threat too far. Donald Trump threatens Iran with further violence after ordering airstrike that killed most powerful military figure. All this and much more coming up on this Sunday, the 5th of January 2020.
It always feels good when you are appreciated. SLT non-stop broadband. Free loyalty data added as you stay connected.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Very good evening. This is First at 9. I'm Shanella Fernando and moving on to your top story for tonight. Chief incumbent of the Sunitra Devi Pirivena in Papiliana, Professor Venerable Madhugoda Abhiyatissa Thera cautioned the President and Prime Minister to beware from the international forces who are friends in disguise. The Thera made this remark during a religious event held in Fort yesterday. The President's house at Fort hosted a Dhamma sermon yesterday to invoke blessings upon the country, its war heroes and the citizens. The sermon was attended by a number of members of the MAHA SANGHA, including the chief incumbent of the Abhayarama temple in Narayanpeta, Venerable Muruthettuve Ananda Thera. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and many other parliamentarians were also in attendance.
මේ යුද්ධය අවසන් කරන්නට එකතු වෙච්ච සුසංයෝගය ජනාධිපතිතුමයි ආරක්ෂක ලේකම්තුමයි අද වෙනස් වෙලා ජනාධිපතිතුමයි අගමැතිතුමයි හැටියට ආර්ථික යුද්ධය අවසන් කරන්න ඒ විතරක් නෙමෙයි ජාත්‍යන්තරයෙන් එන මේ යුද්ධය අවසන් කරන්න ඔබතුමන්ලට ලොකු වගකීමක් පැවරිලා තියෙනවා. විවිධාකාර බලවේග ඔබතුමන්ලා අතරට එන්න පුළුවන්. මිතුරු වෙසින් ඇවිල්ලා ඔබතුමන්ලාගේ මේ ඉදිරි ගමන වළක්වන්නට නොඑක් දේවල් සිද්ධ කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා හැම අතින්ම ප්‍රවේශම් වෙමු. මේ රටේ මේ අහිංසක මිනිස්සුන්ගේ ඒ උතුම් බලාපොරොත්තුවට පණ දෙන්න ඔබතුමන්ලාට ශක්තිය ලැබේවා කියන ආශිර්වාදය සිද්ධ කරන්න තමයි මහා සංඝරත්නය අද මේ එකතු වෙලා ඉන්නේ.
Meanwhile, an almsgiving for 300 members of the Buddhist clergy was conducted at the President's house in Fort today. Mahasangha of the 3 chapters, including Chief Prelate of the Askeriya chapter, Most Venerable Varakagoda Sri Jnana Ratana Thera, and Deputy Chief Prelate of the Malvatta chapter, Venerable Niyangoda Vijitasiri Thera, were present at the event. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, along with Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa and other parliamentarians, also participated in the event. Now, addressing a meeting this morning in Kiribati, MP Field Marshal Sarath Fonseka said that the previous government and the UNP leader should bear the responsibility for the election loss, where the UNP candidate became the victim of past mistakes. Furthermore, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa, addressing the same meeting, stated that positions will be only given to the people who helped UNP supporters when they became victims of political revenge. A public event was held by MP Sajith Premadasa to thank his supporters in the KELANIYA electorate for the support extended to his candidacy at the presidential election.
අවශ්‍ය විදියට මේ ජනතාව බලා ගන්න අපිට බැරි වුණා. යහපාලනය කියලා පොඩි විනයක් අපි ඔළුවේ දාගෙන ඒ හරහා අපි ජනතාව අමතක කරා. ඒකට සම්පූර්ණ වගකීම ගන්න ඕන රජය. රජය කිව්වා මම ඒකෙත් 99%ක් මම වගකීම් පවරන්නේ එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂ නායකතුමාට. රැකියාව නොදුන්නේ නැහැ. රැකියාව දුන්න සමහර ඇමතිවරු 7-8 දෙනෙක්. ඒගොල්ලොන්ගේ අමාත්‍යාංශවල, ඒගොල්ලොන්ගේ ගම්වල, ඒගොල්ලොන්ගේ ආසනවල විතරක් දුන්නා. ඒ ආකාරයට අපේ රජය හුඟක් වැරදි කරා. ඒවැ ප්‍රතිඵල තමයි අපට නෙලා ගන්න සිද්ධ වුණේ. අවසානයේදී මේ ප්‍රතිඵල වලට ගොදුරක් වුණේ අපේ ජනාධිපති අපේක්ෂකතුමා.
බලය තියෙනකොට නම් තනතුරු ගන්නට ඕලිමට ඉන්නවා නීති ශාස්ත්‍රයේ විශේෂඥ. විපක්ෂයට ගිහිල්ලා අපේ සමාජිකින්ට අනතුරක් සිදු වෙනකොට අතලොස්සයි ඉන්නේ. මම පැහැදිලිව එකක් කියන්න කැමතියි. හොන්තට මතක තියාගන්න මේ විපක්ෂයේ ඉන්න කාලේ පැහැදිලිවම ප්‍රායෝගිකව පරිගැනීම් වලට ලක් වෙන දඩයන් වලට ලක් වෙන අපේ සමාජිකයෝ වෙනුවෙන් පෙනී සිටින ඒ නීති කණ්ඩායම් වලට පමණමයි අපි අනාගතයේදී තනතුරු තාන්න මාන්න ලබා දෙන්නේ කියන එක මම පැහැදිලිවම මේ අවස්ථාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
MP Udaya Gammanpila says that the current need of the country is a brand new constitution that accurately fulfills the aspirations of the people. The MP made these comments while addressing a public event in Gampaha yesterday.
අද පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණය ගැන අපි මෙහෙම කතා කරනකොට එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය අලුත් සටන් පාරයක් ගෙල්ලා තියෙනවා මැතිතුමනි. මොකද්ද? ගෝඨා ජනපති සජිත් අගමැති. එතකොට මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මැතිතුමා එතුමා විපක්ෂ නායක වෙන්නේ නැති. අපි එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයට කියනවා ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ කියන්නේ තමන්ගේ ඉදිරියේ තියෙන මහා දැවැන්ත ගල්පවා කුඩුපට්ටම් කරගෙන ඉදිරියට ඇදෙන මහා දැවැන්ත සද්දන්ත නැවක්. සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමාගේ ඩයිනමෝව හොඳ ඇති. හැබැයි ඒ ඩයිනමෝව ගැලපෙන්නේ පුංචි බයිසිකලයකට මිසක් මහා සද්දන්ත ගෝඨාභය නැවට නෙවෙයි කියන එක අපි එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයට සිහිපත් කරනවා. ඒ වගේම මේ රටට නොගැලපෙන මේ ව්‍යවස්ථාව කුදලා අරගෙන මහ පොළොවේ ගාලා කුඩුපට්ටම් කරලා දාලා ජනතා අභිලාෂයන් ඉටු කරන නව ව්‍යවස්ථාවක් අපි රට හදා ගන්න ඕනි. ඒක කරන්න පුළුවන් ජනපති ගෝඨාභය මහින්ද අගමැති කියන සුසංයෝගයට පමණයි.
අපේ ප්‍රතිපත්ති ප්‍රකාශයේ වැඩපිළිවෙල ඉදිරියට ගෙන යන්න නම් අපිට 3-2 බලයක් පාර්ලිමේන්තුව තුල ඕනි. දැන් අපි ගණන් හදාගෙන වැඩේට බහැලා තියෙනවා. අපි අවුරුදු 4මාරක් මහන්සි වීමේ ප්‍රතිඵලය පරිශීෂ්‍යත්වයේ සමත් වුණා පළාත් පාලනයේදී. ඕලෙවල් සමත් වුණා ජනාධිපතිවරණයේදී. අපි පෙබරවාරි අවසාන වෙනකොට ආණ්ඩුව ඉස්සරහරලා අප්‍රේල් වල තියෙන උසස් පෙළ විභාගයෙන් තමයි ඉහළම ජයග්‍රහණයක් අරගෙන විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයට යන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ.
Now, in an unfortunate recent event in light of the Y-12 aircraft crash that took place recently, the bodies were handed over to their respective family members today after the postmortems were carried out. While Air Force media spokesman Group Captain Gihan Senaviratne said that the reason for the crash has still not been determined. A Y-12 aircraft belonging to the Sri Lanka Air Force crashed at 9:15 am on Friday while conducting a reconnaissance mission in the area of Aispil in Haputale. After an hour's operation was carried out to recover the bodies from the crash site on the same day, the bodies were taken to the Provincial General Hospital in Badulla for postmortems to be carried out by Judicial Medical Officer Sandakan Vaduge. However, due to the bodies being burnt beyond recognition, the remains were taken to the National Hospital in Colombo to be identified by forensic odontologist Jaini Veeraratna. Following this, the bodies were handed over to their respective families. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa visited the residence of Airman LAC Hettiarachchi in Matara to pay respects to the deceased officer for his services. Meanwhile, the bodies of Sergeant DWRW Kumara and pilot of the Y-12 plane, Squadron Leader WAMBNB Wibedda, were taken to their families for the funeral proceedings to be held at their residences in Hokandara and Tissamaharama respectively. The funeral of co-pilot of the aircraft, Flight Lieutenant KMDL Kulatunga, was held this morning. Now, police have arrested 2 suspects out of 5 who were involved in a gang rape of a 12-year-old girl in the Talahin area today. The 2 suspects who were in hiding in a forest in the area were tracked down following a major police operation to apprehend them. Police sources say that the 3 other suspects are due to be arrested soon, with a special police team deployed to nab the absconding suspects. The 5 suspects, all over 50 years of age, had subjected the victim to the gang rape 2 days earlier, and the victim is now receiving treatment at the Kurunegala District Hospital. Residents of the village expressed their anger as the suspect was taken away by the police. Now, UNP MP RANJAN RAMANAYAKE was released on bail today after he was presented at the Gangodawila Magistrates Court following his arrest last night. The parliamentarian was arrested for possessing a government-issued 9mm pistol with an expired licence.
Parliamentarian RANJAN RAMANAYAKE was taken into custody last night after officers of the Western Province South Crimes Division arrived at the parliamentarian's house with a search warrant issued by the Gangodawila Magistrates Court. The police had filed complaint against the MP under the Firearms Act, the Explosives Act and the Penal Code under the 102nd, 120th, 113th and 215 clauses. In a statement issued following a lengthy interrogation of the MP, the police revealed that they had discovered hard disks containing recordings of phone conversations pertaining to investigations carried out by the CID, the FCID and the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption. They had also seized a laptop, 9mm firearm, along with 127 live 9mm cartridges as well. The statement also revealed that further investigations will be carried out regarding allegations that the MP had conspired with other public servants to create disaffection among the public towards the government. The police also went on to state that the Western Province South Crimes Division would conduct an investigation to determine if MP RANJAN RAMANAYAKE was involved with crimes committed using the unlicensed firearm discovered at his residence. Gunaratha Valinayaka was the attorney-at-law representing the parliamentarian at the hearing that was held at the official residence of HUK Palpala, the additional district judge. The MP was released on bail with 2 personal sureties of Rs 500,000 each. The judge also imposed a travel ban on the parliamentarian and the hearing was postponed to the 17th of January. Meanwhile, Minister Mahindanandalu Gamage commented on the arrest of parliamentarian RANJAN RAMANAYAKE.
RANJAN RAMANAYAKE මන්ත්‍රතුමා අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්නකොට ප්‍රවෘත්තිවල යනවා බලපත්‍ර නැති ගිනියාවියක් අතලඟ තිබ්බ නිසා එතුමා අත්අඩංගුවට ගත්තා කියලා ඒක බොරු. ඒ පොලිසිය දුන්න ප්‍රකාශය සම්පූර්ණ වැරදි. අපිට ලැබුණා තොරතුරක් එතුමාගේ තියෙනවා ජංගම දුරකථන දෙකක්. මේ ජංගම දුරකථන දෙකේ පහුගිය කාලේ කතා කරපු දුරකථන සංවාද 1,21,000ක් පටිගත කරපු CD තටි කීපයක් එතුමාගේ නිවසේ තියෙනවා කියලා අපිට තොරතුරු ලැබුණා. මේ තොරතුරු අනුව අධිකරණය වරෙන්තුවක් අරගෙන ගිහිල්ලා මේක ගත්තා. මේ CD ටික CID එකට ඊරගෙන මේකේ තියෙනවා අපි අහුවා. RANJAN RAMANAYAKE මහත්තයාගේ ජංගම දුරකථනයෙන් කාටද කතා කරලා පටිගත කරලා තියාගෙන ඉන්නේ? CID එකේ IP නිශාන්ත සිල්වා මහත්තයා. කතා කරලා කියනවා මහින්දානන්ද අලුත්ගමගේ අත්අඩංගුවට ගත්ත හරිද? දැන් ලෑස්තිද ෆයිල් එක? දැන් කොයි නඩුකාරයටද දාන්නේ? නඩුකාරයාගේ කාමරේ අංක මොකද්ද? නඩුකාරයාගේ නම මොකද්ද? ඔයා ගෙනියන්න මම දැන් නඩුකාරයට කතා කරනවා. මෙයා ඊළඟට නිශාන්ත සිල්වාට කියනවා මම දැන් එවනවා කෙනෙක් ෆයිල් එකේ පිටපතක් මට එවන්න. මම මේක ප්‍රවෘත්ති සාකච්ඡාවේදී ගන්නවා. නිශාන්ත සිල්වා CID එකේ ෆයිල් එක පල්ලයට එවනවා. RANJAN RAMANAYAKE මහත්තයා ඒක අරගෙන යනවා. ඊළඟට ශානි ඔබේසේකර CID එකේ DHAMMA මහත්තයා RANJAN RAMANAYAKE කතා කරනවා. කතා කරලා කියනවා රණවිරෝඩක හිරේ දාන්න ඕනේ. මොකද කරන්නේ? මොකද්ද දාන උසාවිය? මොකද්ද නඩුවන්කේ මට කියන්න. එතකොට ශානි ඔබේසේකර කියනවා මෙන්න මේ අධිකරණයට අපි දානවා. ඔබතුමා මෙන්න මේ නඩුකාරතුමියට කතා කරන්න කියනවා. ඒ නඩුකාරතුමියගේ නම කියනවා. නඩුකාරතුමියට කතා කරා කියලා කියනවා. ඒ විතරක් නෙවෙයි RANJAN RAMANAYAKE මහත්තයා හිටපු ජනාධිපතිතුමා ගාවට යනවා. එතුමා ගාවටත් කියලා ජංගම දුරකථනයෙන් කෝල් එකක් ගන්නවා. අධිකරණයේ ඉහළ කෙනෙකුට. එතුමාට කතා කරලා කියනවා ජනාධිපතිතුමා ඉන්නවා. මෙන්න කතා කරන්න කියලා. ඒකත් පටිගත වෙලා RANJAN RAMANAYAKE මහත්තයාගේ ජංගම දුරකථනයේ තියෙනවා. හිරුනිකා මන්ත්‍රීතුමිය RANJAN RAMANAYAKE මන්ත්‍රීතුමා දානවා දෙන්න එකට කෝල් එකක්. ඒකල කතා කරනවා CID එකේ ඩිරෙක්ටර්ට. කතා කරලා 3 දෙනා සාකච්ඡා කරනවා මේ පිළිමද කොහොමද අපි කටයුතු කරන්න කියලා. අධිකරණවල විනිසුරුවරුන්ට කතා කරනවා. RANJAN RAMANAYAKE කතා කරලා කියනවා මේක වහාම හිරේ දාන්න ඕනේ. මෙයා අත්තරකට ගන්න ඕනේ නැත්නම් ඔබතුමියලා. අධිකරණයේ සමහර අයගේ උසස් වීම ගැන කතා කරනවා. ඒ ගෙදරට ගියාම එතුමාගේ ගිනියාවියේ බලපත්‍රයක් නැතුව තිබුණා. මේ අපේ පොලිසියටත් මොලේ නැහනේ. පොලිසියත් ඉතින් යන්නේ වෙන එකක් කරන්නේ තව දෙයක්. පොලිසියට ගියේ අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්න CD එක. කෙහෙමල් පිස්තෝලයක් අල්ලගෙන TV එකට පෙන්නුවා. දැන් රට හිතන්නේ මේ බලපත්‍ර නැතිද RANJAN අත්අඩංගුවට ගත්තා නෑ. RANJAN RAMANAYAKE මහත්තයා අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්නේ බරපතල කුමන්ත්‍රණයක් පිළිබඳව. අධිකරණයට බලපෑම් කිරීම, CID එකට බලපෑම් කිරීම, විනිසුරුවන්ට බලපෑම් කිරීම. මට අපේ හාමුදුරනේ කැරම් බෝඩ් බෙදුවා කියලා. විශේෂ අධිකරණේ නඩුවක් අහනවා. එක දිගට අහනවා. මම බෙදපු කැරම් බෝඩ් එකක් නෑ. මම දන්නේ නැහැ අපේ හාමුදුරනේ. බිලියන ගණන් වංච කරපු මහ බැංකුව මංගොල්ල කාපු මිනිස්සු ඉන්නවා. top 10 හොරු ඉන්නවා. මේ සියලු දෙනාට විරුද්ධව නීතිය ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙන්න හදනකොට පොලිසිය සමහර අතම් නිලධාරීන් වෙන වෙන දේවල් මවාපාලා ආණ්ඩුව අපහසුතාවයට පත් කරන්න කටයුතු කරන අවස්ථා තියෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපි ආණ්ඩුවේ අවධානය සඳහා යොමු කරනවා.
Former Central Bank Governor Ajit Niwad Cabral says that the government should employ top-class investigators to finally deliver justice because what he refers to as bond scam fatigue has already set in. He made these comments while speaking to Indivari Amuwatha during our current affairs program at Hyde Park on AdaDerana 24.
Your expose, the great bond scam cover-up and the mother of all cover-ups. Why mother of all cover-ups? The former governor of the central bank is still at large. Now the present government, it has been more than a month since the government came into power, and we see that there is not much work done in this regard. Did you have to write a book to remind the government that certain action had to be taken, or is work happening?
So it was not only to prompt the government to doing something, but I wanted to document what was taking place in our country, which many people didn't interpret, in my view, in the way that they should have. You see, what happened in Sri Lanka was, there was a huge scam, and that never got investigated properly.
Your note, 1 trillion here.
The loss, in my view, can add up to 1 trillion. Normally, if there was a scam of this nature, let's say it happened here, what would you have done? You would have gone to the police and said, we have a scam of this nature, please investigate. Fraud Bureau would have come, they would have questioned people, they would have looked at the evidence, and then they would have started prosecuting. But here in Sri Lanka, the government was able to continuously sidestep the issue, and I say that with responsibility, and I call it the pickpocket theory, where they were able to distract people by having new gimmicks all the time.
When you say the commission deftly sidestepped the quantification of the losses caused by the bond scam.
The commission report, which I have very clearly said in my book, is also a part of this entire cover-up scam that was never meant to go and catch the actual culprits. And what is COPE? COPE is a political body which has the politician of their own party now being on the mat. They would have wanted to sidestep that as much as possible. So that is what happened. So the COPE committees, the Bonds Commission, now the forensic audit are all attempts to shift the real accountability process. And these actually have not brought the culprits to book. They're just going on and on and on with one after another. What is the use of all that? You got to have a proper investigation by the law enforcement authorities. And the Prime Minister was able to stay in his seat for 5 years after being the mastermind for this scam. More than the scam itself, the fact that they were able to cover this up and not have anyone charged properly, especially those who have to be charged, for 5 years is, to my mind, a great victory for the scammers, but a great defeat as far as the rest of the law-abiding people of this country are concerned.
What is the sentiment of the present regime, present law enforcement authorities? Because now, yes, 5 years we've overlooked this, but now it's the time to take action.
I think we need to immediately take action, but they need to have guidance too in the very. They have all been now lulled into some kind of a bond scam fatigue, because they have created this fatigue where people say nothing is happening. So I wanted to break that. Tell people, look, this now has to get into a shape where there is clarity as to what the government should do. And to my mind, the best thing that the government can do is to have a top-class investigator put in charge of this investigation. They investigate. Now there's lots of evidence that has cropped up here and there, but nothing has been put together in a cohesive manner. Put it together. And this book, I think, will guide them. It will give them clues as to where to look, because I have also studied this very carefully.
You launched this yesterday. Have you handed it over to relevant authorities?
I have done that. I have given a copy to the President, I have given a copy to the Prime Minister, and I thought that was my duty to do that. I did that actually before the book was launched, so that they have a additional reading. And I actually wanted to do that in the very, because I think the people also need to have faith that this process is not dead. A lot of people...
when you say justice must not only be done, but must also be seen to be done, this is something you have an article, you have some notes written about this, so I think you may have mentioned this to the authorities when you handed over the book.
Absolutely, because as you know, even the Bond Commission, some of the people who were involved in the Bond Commission were actually should not have been involved because of their own involvements with political parties as well as other conflicts of interest. So when you have that kind of a situation, you find that overall the process is damaged. So let's forget about all these processes that are damaged. Do a plain and simple inquiry, and with the inquiry certain information will come out.
According to the Department of Meteorology, showers are expected in the eastern and Uva provinces as well as in the Hambantota district this week. In addition, the department revealed that showers and thunder showers are also likely to occur at several places in the Sabaragamuwa and western provinces and in the Galle, Mathura and Norelia districts in the afternoon. Misty conditions can also be expected at some places in western, central, Sabaragamuwa and Uva provinces during the morning. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning activity during thundershowers. Let's now move on to a short commercial break. More news on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Now in your business news, oil prices in the international markets have spiked following the killing of an Iranian general by a US drone strike in Iraq on Friday. Analysts have warned that the action could lead to a severe escalation of tensions in the region, which could see both oil production and prices affected further. The price of Brent crude spiked by more than 3% yesterday, hitting $69.5 per barrel. This is the highest Brent price increase since September of last year. The price spike pushed oil stocks on the London Stock Exchange up as British petroleum stocks increased by 2.7%, while Royal Dutch Shell stocks ended the day up by 1.9%. However, US oil company shares dropped amid a wider US market fall due to the weak manufacturing data and concerns on the implications of further conflict in the Middle East. Following record highs shown a day earlier, the Dow Jones and the Nasdaq closed down 0.8%, while the S&P 500 dropped down by 0.7%. With markets having begun the new year on a bullish note, analysts believe that the event has served to stall this optimism. Now, German car maker Daimler AG said yesterday that it will recall 744,000 Mercedes-Benz vehicles in the United States from the 2001 through 2011 model years because of sunroof glass panel could detach and pose a safety hazard. The large recall covers more 24 vehicles from C-Class, CLK Class, CLS Class and E-Class model lines. The automaker said that the bonding between the glass panel and the sliding room frame might not meet specifications and could lead to sunroof detachings. Rather, owners who paid for repairs for the issue will be able to seek reimbursements from Daimler. The company said that dealers will inspect the glass panel bonding and replace the sliding roof if necessary. Last month, Mercedes-Benz USA agreed to a $20 million civil penalty over its handling of US vehicles recalls after a year-long US government investigation into 1.4 million recalled vehicles. Under the terms of the settlement, the automaker will pay $13 million and faces another $7 million fine if it does not comply with the agreement. Now, Sri Lankan stocks closed 0.5% stronger at the end of last week's trading with a market turnover of 596.7 million rupees. Foreign participation was seen active until Friday, where foreign selling accounted for 23.3% of the total week turnover. However, selling pressure is expected from foreign holders in the upcoming week as well. Let's now take a look at what's in store for the markets in the week ahead rather.
We expect the bond market activity to slow down till this year's first bond auction and the stock market activity to slowly pick up with the release of the company's earnings in the following weeks. We expect the market to be a positive momentum on the expectation of the stronger earnings from the companies we are registering in the recovery in demand. However, foreigners are like to show the selling pressure in the coming week as well, and we expect the selling to slow down with the results.
More news on the other side of this break. Stay tuned. Now, Now, President Donald Trump said yesterday that the United States has targeted 52 Iranian sites that it would strike if Iran attacks Americans or U.S. assets in response to a U.S. drone strike that killed Iranian military commander Qasem Soleimani in Iraq, showing no signs of seeking to reduce tensions raised by the strike on Friday that he ordered. The U.S. president issued a stern threat to Iran via Twitter. Trump wrote in a series of tweets that Iran is talking very boldly about targeting certain U.S. assets to avenge Soleimani's death. He said that U.S. has targeted 52 Iranian sites and that some were at a very high level and important to Iran and the Iranian culture, and those targets and Iran itself will be hit very fast and very hard. Trump added that the U.S. wants no more threats, and the 52 targets represent the 52 Americans who were held hostage in Iran after being seized at the U.S. Embassy in Tehran in 1979. Now, in your sports news, Australia, with the expectation of wrapping up their New Zealand series with a whitewash, continued their dominance on the third day of the Test match against New Zealand today as Australian bowlers smashed through the black cap batting order. Nathan Lyon remained outstanding during the day as he bagged 5 New Zealand wickets. Seamer Pat Cummins came in second in the bowlers list, bagging 3 wickets. At the day's end, Australia in their second innings remained on a score of 40 runs for the loss of no wickets. Now, in the first T20 international of the 3-match T20 series in Sri Lanka, Tour of India kick-started this evening at the Baraspara Cricket Stadium in Guwahati. India won the toss and elected to bowl first. However, the match has been delayed due to the wet outfield without a delivery bowled. That's a wrap on Here at First at 9. Thank you for joining. I'm Shanella Fernando. Good night.